Nuggets, well, one win away from their first playoff series win since the 2009 conference semis. They've lost 5 straight playoff series entering this season. Big night for the franchise. Marcus Aldridge going off in the first half. The Spurs shot 69% from mid-range on Thursday. That's best by a team in the last 20 postseasons. The mid-range, of course, is dying. It's all about threes, especially corner threes,
yes,
and the layup and the free throw. That's basketball nowadays. Like that. There's your efficient three-pointer from Jokic. There he is with the floater. He was outstanding in this game. He had 43 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. He takes a seat with 63 seconds left in the third. Nuggets are only down by 3. But from there, the Spurs would capitalize with a big man on the bench. DeRozan drives and gets the layup to go. Spurs by 5. There's that corner 3. It's shorter than the other 3s, just 22 feet. Bellinelli, Spurs by 11, so here they go. Again, it was a 3-point lead at the end of the third. Late in the third, Derek White. It's a 12-2 run with that dude on the bench. Michael Malone, Denver coach. What's up?
43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists in 38 minutes. And, maybe after playing 48, it's like every time we take him out, it seems like the Spurs go on a run. So he's an MVP candidate, in my opinion, for a reason. And every time we take him out, obviously, it's like you're holding your breath that we can hold on until we get him back in the game.
Yeah, so Game 7, you're not coming out 1-5er.
Right.
DeRozan, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and Pop, I call him Pop.
You do call him Pop.
And the Spurs force a Game 7 in Denver.
You're back against the wall. It's literally win or go home. Win or go home. Simple as that. Once you understand the meaning of that going into that game, you understand that every single second on that court matters. You don't want to walk off that court preparing for summer. That's it brings out a different side of you. And the guys that been in a Game 7 understand what it's like. So we all got to treat it like we did tonight.
Greg Popovich continues to climb up the most playoff wins list. A win in Game 7 on Saturday night would tie him with Pat Riley for second most, still a ways back from Phil Jackson. The Jack Show. Popovich is 3-3 all-time in Game 7s, alternating wins and losses. It's then worth noting he and the Spurs lost their last Game 7 in the first round 4 years ago against the Clippers. Coming up later, Tim Legler. The beaker is out. The lab is open. How the Spurs force Game 7, the smartest man on television via basketball. The Spurs have forced a Game 7. They took care of business in Game 6 at home against Denver. LaMarcus Aldridge was gigantic in this game. Aldridge, 10 of 18 from the floor. There's the 1-3 he hit on 3 tries, 26 points and 10 rebounds, just really setting the tone early for San Antonio. Let's check out Aldridge by Nugget defenders. Jokic, who was gigantic offensively, 43 points and 12 rebounds. But Aldridge played well against him, 9 points on 3 of 6 shooting with Jokic as the primary defender. Let's throw a little Smoky Mountain rain at him now, Paul Millsap. But again, Aldridge, 5 of 7. That was an easy cover for him. Great move there off the dribble. 13 points against Millsap as his primary defender. Again, 26 points in all. The Spurs force Game 7. Aldridge led all scorers in the first half with 18, helping the Spurs force that Game 7. That is in Denver Saturday night. He was 5 for 5 on pull-ups in Game 6. He had that many makes on pull-ups in their first 5 games of the series. Tim Legler. Legs, cook something up in that lab of yours.
Well, any team facing elimination on its home floor is going to need a big night out of its best players. And I thought San Antonio knew that going in. So LaMarcus Aldridge took it upon himself to be very aggressive at the start of this game. And when your best player gets going early offensively, it allows your role players to relax, stay in their lane, and have a big impact as well. And I'll show you what I mean with LaMarcus early in the game. This is one of his very first touches inside of a minute. And you see DeMar DeRozan, nice job facilitating. As he starts to turn the corner, he's reading the weak side of the defense. defense. We're staying close enough to shooters so they're not in his lap. You've got Paul Millsap down on the baseline. He's got to deal with Pirtle down here. And Nikola Jokic is the guy that elects to come off of Aldridge, figuring he's not a three-point shooter, so I'm going to get in the lap of DeMar DeRozan, and he's going to basically force this pass. The question is, what do you do on the closeout? Nice pump fake right here. You see Paul Millsap, too aggressive with the closeout, allows LaMarcus Aldridge to get to the baseline and then elevate. 6'11" pull-up jumper. This tells everybody in the building he's in a good place. He's feeling aggressive, feeling very confident, got them off to a good start. And then he got to his sweet spot in the second half. This is a key stretch when they got some separation, late third, early fourth quarter. He, again, eyeing up the defense. I personally would like to see a double team right here and close out to the non-shooter DeRozan, but instead they elect to stay home, and now you're going to allow LaMarcus Aldridge an opportunity to operate one-on-one in his favorite place on the court, and he's going to dip, spin, and elevate. And Nikola Jokic plays it pretty well, but LaMarcus Aldridge knows there's no way he's athletic enough to get up and honestly contest this, so the fadeaway jumper is exactly what Aldridge wants. Big night for him in both halves. DeRozan better in the second. Bottom line is the veterans came through for San Antonio, and now you've got a Game 7 back in Denver.
For the Clippers to come in here and take this game tonight, you cannot give them enough credit.
An impressive victory. This series very much alive.
All right, let's bring in Tim Legler. Tim, I don't know who saw that coming, so why did it happen?
Well, a couple of reasons. I think first and foremost for me, I felt like defensively, the Warriors looked confused, and it's one of the few times I can say that they looked this unable to adjust to what the Clippers were throwing at them. And I think part of it is because of the nature of Lou Williams' game. With all that start-stop, change of pace, change of speed, he keeps you off balance constantly. Their inability to contain him is really what sets the table for the entire team, and I think that's what opens up the lane for Montrezl Harrell. And then I thought offensively they were a little predictable, trying to go for quick shots, and that's not their game. The Warriors are at their best when they move it. Once they felt threatened in the fourth quarter, very predictable with how quick the shot was going to take place. I thought that played into the Clippers' hands defensively, let them off the hook.
All right, so you've given us the recipe for the Warriors to fix it Game 6 Friday, right across the street. How did the Clippers sustain it?
I think the biggest thing that they need to do is continue to put the ball in Lou Williams' hands. There was a time here in the fourth quarter when I was a little bit concerned about what they were trying to accomplish offensively. Lou Williams didn't touch the ball for a 4 or 5 possession stretch that allowed the Golden State Warriors to tie the game, and I didn't like what they were going to. Let Lou Williams be the guy that dictates matters when he's on the floor, because Golden State has not really figured out what to do with him. Keep the ball in his hands. They've got to come out with intensity. I think the biggest thing you have to do when you play the Warriors in a situation like this, do not allow their three-point shooters to find rhythm early in the game. You don't want those guys to find a rhythm early in the game. They put the ball in Kevin Durant's hands a lot tonight because he was the only guy that had it going. If you're the Clippers, you'll live with that. You don't want all of those guys hot at the same time, and that means starting the game the right way, no open looks early.
Yeah, they said they would not get complacent again after getting shocked. They got complacent again and got shocked. Tim Legler.
71 points in the first half. That was shocking. The Warriors have allowed at least 125 points only twice at home in the playoffs under Steve Kerr. And this is shocking. They both come in this series. 135 in Game 2, 129 Wednesday. Warriors have now lost multiple home games in a single series for the first time since the 2016 finals. Kevin Durant and Steph Curry on the confidence the Clippers must be bathing in.
This team has a habit, since I've been here for sure. When we get a nice lead, we just tend to relax just a little bit. And against us, I said it before, teams are looking for something just to, get them back into the game. You know what I'm saying? So if we foul a three-point shooter, or we turn the rock over, or we shoot a few bad shots in a row, team can get going. They can build some confidence because they already playing loose.
I think they threw the first punch in the first quarter. Everybody seemed like they had nothing to lose and were just firing it up from all over the place. And we had breakdowns in transition. Didn't box out well, so they had plenty of extra possessions, and that gives anybody confidence when you see the ball going in early in the game. So it's one of those nights that we got to erase from our memory quick.
Let's welcome in Nick Friedel now. Nick, we've all heard it from NBA fans, NBA analysts. Oh, yeah, the Warriors are going to win it again. Seems like maybe the Warriors may be getting a little bit too cavalier with that idea themselves. What's going on in that locker room?
Yeah, Stan, after this game, it kind of felt like they just lost the game in the middle of the regular season in January, truly. I mean, in Game 2, they were shell-shocked. DeMarcus Cousins gets hurt. They blow a 31-point lead in the second half. Guys are sitting in front of their lockers going, what in the world is going on? Tonight, it was like, we'll get them in Game 6. And the reality for this Warriors group is these are the habits they built up all season long. Some nights they had it going defensively. Some nights they didn't. Some nights the intensity was there. Some nights it wasn't. But they were always convinced when the playoffs hit, they'd be able to hit the button. And that has not been the case against the Clippers. This team plays hard. They play tough. I don't believe that the Warriors were overlooking the Clippers, knowing that the Rockets are done, but this team knows now that they've got a fight on their hands going into Game 6 in Staples, and if they don't bring that focus, they're going to be in real big trouble.
All right, we'll see what happens Friday. Thanks, Nick. And did you know the Warriors are the first team to lose Game 5 at home when leading 3-1 since the Warriors in the 2016 finals? Golden State, of course, went on to lose that series to the Cavaliers. Prior to that instance, teams to lose Game 5 at home bounced back to win 17 straight series.